we extend a very warm welcome to our new president, our new patron, and Ravindra Nath.
Thank you very much, sir, and a very happy new year to all. It has been a delight to be a part of this program, listening to Professor Diman, listening to Professor Vivek Shankarji, and our President, Professor Narula sir. It's always such a delight to listen to all the visionaries, and more so when they are all being taken forward by none other than our Dr. Gulshansharma. Without you, sir, we would be nothing. I am very candid to say this, because unless you gather this Kutumbakam, it can never move forward. वासुदेव कुटुंबकम तो अलग बात है साहब, वो प्रोफेसर दिमान के लिए मैं छोड़ देता हूं, क्योंकि उनका ज्ञान जितना भी है हम उसके तुच्छ मात्र भी नहीं है, मगर इस कुटुंबकम को जैसे आपने समेट रखा है वैसा शायद ही कोई आदमी आज के संसार में मिले जो कि इस कुटुंब को पूरा और सुदृढ़ बनाने में इस ऐसे माहौल में भी हमेशा साथ रहे. I know what challenges you are facing in the last 2-3 days. I wish the best of health to madam, and I'm sure with this 3 days of program, it will be basically a continuation of what you are giving back to the society. I'm so proud to be a part of you, sir, a part of this chamber, that it really makes me hold my head in with great pride that I am a part of ICSI. And especially when we are looking towards the challenges faced by Indian youth who are at the crossroads, what to study, where to study, what to do after studying all this. And I was listening to Professor Vivek Shankarji, and when I see that the Indian youth is literally running away from our country to have studies abroad, I'm sure with the type of knowledge which you are sharing with the Indian youth, they would definitely be finding the situations in India much better. I would be covering more of this when I come in my session at around 3:15 p.m. But I'm thanking Professor Diman, welcoming him as the new president in waiting for ICSI. I wholeheartedly and very profusely would like to thank Professor Narula for the contributions which he has made, and all the entire team of ICSI. So proud of each one of us. Thank you very much, sir.
So both of us, by the time the people from Canada, they join, you got to share responsibility with me, sir, because both of us, we are together. Now we can have a little interaction, sir. If the people come in between, we will work it out. But meanwhile, both of us, we can just discuss, because if you see in the program, our Gurpreet, Sebel ma'am from Canada, wellness in education, and thereafter financial services exports from India, how they can take place. Surya Vijay Sastri Kotamarthi ji, again from Canada. By profession, he's a chartered accountant. He came in the morning also. That time it was late evening over there in Canada. And now 3 p.m. we are also going to have golf tourism people. But before they come, let us set some context, both of us, and we can share a little vision with us. Give me the little insight when you were taking care of at the helm of the affairs of the NSIC, that National Small Scale Industries Corporation. You had taken it to that height. You had taken it to that stage where you had gone to African continent also. You went to Mauritius also, and the entire ministry was gaga. And you have taken so much. What exactly the countries abroad they were keen about as far as India is concerned? Because today I'm interested about exports only, and when I'm thinking about our services exports, can you share something on that, sir?
Very true, sir. You have very rightly brought me back the memories of those times, and it really inculcated a sense of pride in me for my MSMEs in India, because I always believe that Indian MSMEs are not to be restricted to the boundaries of our country. I always felt that they carry the potential that we can share what we have developed, what we have inculcated,
with those who are still trying to build the wheel. Let them not reinvent the wheel. Let us share with them what we have done. And with our brethren in Africa, the fraternity in Africa was something where we can definitely say with a sense of pride that we give them the solutions what they're looking for. And as we always believe that there is no age where we say we know everything. We are always learners. And this is what you have always been advocating, sir, that at every age we learn something. While we can learn from those MSMEs in Africa, in different countries in Africa, we also shared what we have. And one thing which we really shared and we felt that it was needed was the concept of inculcating entrepreneurship. I used to always tell them that the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji, always advocated Swarozgar. We just joined the words Berozgar se Swarozgar. Every youth, most of the people who, despite having got good education, they really looked up to something where at the completion of their education, can they do something? Unfortunately, most of the youth always looked up to
He has a privilege. You have to take care of him. He has a privilege. He has a privilege because, he gets the right. He gets the right. Please. Yeah.
So what we believe, sir, that they always had this, what we have in our country, that every youth looks for a job. Instead of being a job provider, they largely keep themselves as job seekers. So unemployment being a challenge which is there in most of the countries, including ours, where the mounting young education is always looking for more job opportunities. There are challenges which we can address later, but at the same time, we shared with them what we had developed in our own company and in our own country. We had introduced the concept of entrepreneurship, sir. And at that stage, where those people who either are school walkouts and could not complete their education, or even those who, despite having completed their education, were not able to get the jobs to their satisfaction. So we started, training all these people through on the machines, and this is what our Ministry of External Affairs at that time had decided, that India, through NSIC, under the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, would share our experiences and set up these incubation centers in 10 different African countries. It was a part of the bilateral relationship which we had done. And I'm proud to say that, well, it was not only through the Ministry of External Affairs, it was even as a commercial model that we shared with the two countries, that is South Africa, where presently the Indian cricket team is playing, and Senegal, where we did it with the Senegalese military to set up incubation centers which could train. And the best part was, sir, it was dovetailed with the Ministry of Education in South Africa. Their further education and training centers dovetailed it with the incubation centers which we had set up around Durban at two places. And the children who were students in these colleges used to come beyond their college hours, and some of them were really getting orders after they got the training, and they started becoming self-sufficient. They started giving jobs to others. And in the process, we showed them the path by which they can give jobs rather than look forward for jobs. Similarly, with Senegal, when we worked with the military over there, we found that, and this is what we feel even in the Indian system of our army and Air Force and others, that these young soldiers who come out, and who better than you, Dr. Gulshansharma ji, can feel that pain when a young soldier comes out as a part of the retirement. What does he do after that? We felt that why should he look forward to some jobs as a guard or as a clerk somewhere and all that? Can he be trained to become an entrepreneur? This is what we shared with the ex-servicemen in Senegal. And depending upon the local requirements, depending upon the local raw materials which were available, we gave them these opportunities to learn and set up their own small enterprises. We all recognize that it is these small enterprises who are the biggest job providers, apart from giving an opportunity to the individual to be a job provider once he or she sets up their own enterprise. We did not restrict ourselves to Africa, and we decided that we would go even to various countries like Russia, like Morocco, like Malaysia, South Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, etc. Some of these countries, hello? Hello?
I can hear you, Ji. I can hear
Okay.
you. Up to
Fine,
Vietnam, we have gone.
Okay, fine, sir. So what we thought was that, well, Indian MSMEs, we projected them to all these our counterpart organizations in these countries. And I have to share with a great sense of pride that our counterpart organizations in these countries were very eager to join hands with Indian MSMEs, and at certain places, even joint ventures were being created. That is where I would like to share that our counterpart in South Korea, the Small Business Corporation, wanted that we should have a technology exchange center. Times like COVID, when we cannot have physical movements, let us have technology exchange centers where people in both the countries on either side would get to know their counterpart MSMEs so that they can collaborate with them, they can join hands with them. That's how it became very, very successful. And this is where I believe Indian MSMEs, we are really very strong, be it the automobile sector, be it the textile sector, be it the defense, aerospace, and all these sectors. We had some of the finest MSMEs who can compete with anybody in the world and stand ahead. And I am sure it is these MSMEs of India which would have given this great, what you call, the self-belief in our Honorable Prime Minister when he advocated the concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat. This is the feeling which we had when we took and exhibited and showcased our Indian MSMEs in these countries abroad.
Who always stands as a great support to me, and that is our Shri Ravindra Nath ji, the chairperson of the MSME sector. And let me tell you, people, those who have joined us today, that he is the CMD of the NSIC, formerly under the aegis of the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise. We worked very hard with him, and the services sector was brought at par with the manufacturing sector at that point of time. And now he's sharing the vision. He's taking the vision. He's taking the journey forward for all of us. And may I humbly request you, sir, kindly take on the floor. आपके पीछे Sun Temple भी है, आपके पीछे कोणार्क भी है, आपके पीछे सभ्यता भी है, आपके पीछे संस्कृति भी है, और आपके पीछे वो व्हील भी है. समय कहता है कि हम चलें रविंद्रनाथ जी के साथ. आइए चलते हैं.
Thank you very much, sir. It's always been an honor to be with you, a person who truly follows Vivekananda. I remember, I think it was 2 days back that we had the birthday of Shri Vivekananda, the person who always said, arise, awake and stop not till the goal is achieved. And I remember you have been so steadfastly, so strongly, so passionately taking this job forward. And I wonder when this work of yours of enlightening the society about all these aspects of life, be it education, be it skills, be it wellness, and above all, you always give a ray of hope when you talk about tourism. And I was very keenly listening to the words of Shri Dharampalji, who assured that in April, if things go well, we would all be celebrating in the beautiful city of Chandigarh. And I promise you, sir, I will definitely join you there. But whatever task you assigned me, I always make it a point that I will be there because there is always to learn so much from you, sir. And that is where I take this thing forward. I distinctly remember what you have been, I'll be sharing my screen.
Yes, sir. It has come. It has come, sir. You got to just increase the size, sir, from Kapu. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is what you always mention. And this is what is the main thought behind our chamber's entire vision which we carry, making education relevant. And education, we all believe, cannot be relevant unless the three wheels which we have projected, Shiksha, Kaushal, and Udyamita, they all blend, they all gel, and they all come together to transform. ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਚ ਕਹਾਂ ਬੇਰੋਜ਼ਗਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਸਵਰੋਜ਼ਗਾਰ ਤੱਕ ਦੀ ਯਾਤਰਾ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੂਰਾ ਨਾ ਕਰੀਏ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੰਮ ਅਧੂਰਾ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ but if I have to take these things forward, sir, we must tell the youth and especially those who are at the education responsibility that India has 18% of the world population with almost 600 million under the age of 25 years. And India is likely to be the world's largest workforce by 2027 with 1 billion people aged between 15 and 64. I was just watching a video where people in Japan, almost 2 million people, are above the age of 90. And that is where our Honorable Prime Minister says India has a huge future, even if we have an abundance of manpower. And today, if we go by the figures which are shared, almost 1.3 million workforce is growing every month. The large corporations and the medium-sized businesses and institutions in the formal economy, they generate employment for less than 1/10 of this increasing workforce. The rest struggle in situations of obvious unemployment or disguised underemployment. And let us not forget that the access to the education beyond higher secondary is a mere 10% of the university age population. And the challenge is that if people are not able to study, they are not being adequately trained in respect of vocational or professionally trained areas. And it is perhaps 3%, some say, I would safely say it is less than 10% of the working population which gets this vocationally or professionally trained. And between 60 to 70% as against being done in the developing countries, with South Korea leaving most of us behind in a big way by where the percentage is almost 96%. But the paradox which our country faces is, on one hand, we have significant unemployment, and the private sector always complains, bemoans of a lack of adequately skilled and market-ready workers. But I was reading a report where it was said, and I quote from there, that India's young demographic profile combined with its rising literacy rate offers it a significant advantage vis-a-vis other developed countries. Along with the Make in India initiative, there is a striving to boost the manufacturing sector. The Prime Minister has outlined a vision to represent India as a world-class services hub across sectors. Very true. I was yesterday sharing with you how many sectors are opening up and how much each sector holds for us in terms of promise, hope, that there's a lot of opportunities which those sectors give to everyone in our country. Then technology, innovation, and creativity are rapidly redefining the global economy with digitization, collapsing distances, and transcending borders. The world is no longer something to be scared of in terms of travel, in terms of distances. And we all have been calling the entire world to be a global village. In the process, the impact of the services sector is turning out to be manifold and significant. India has the pride of place as the fastest growing service sector nation globally. And to keep the momentum going, it is critical that the stakeholders, investors, and policymakers are best equipped in strategizing for the future and tapping the best markets globally. That is where I believe that education and the education, what you call the leaders in education sector must also put their minds together with the industry as to what is the need of the hour. And it should not be that we should be churning out people who get educated, but then they do not see the light at the end of the tunnel of their education. I will be sharing with you some of the videos, and this being the first which I'm going to share, it really opens up as to what
Hello, ma'am.
the situation today.
There's a dress section. So I came last week. So I saw something. I just came to pick that up.
Ma'am, we don't have any dresses today. Black t-shirt. Want to try? Please, ma'am. एक बार try तो कर लीजिए.
So you don't have anything else except black t-shirts?
बात है शादी तो शोरूम में खाली टी-शर्ट. भैया मरून ब्लेजर मेरे साइज में एक्सेल दिखा दीजिए.
I'm looking for jeans, shirt. I have a voucher जो आज expire हो जाएगा.
We've given our jeans for alteration yesterday.
I'm looking for white formal shirt. ब्लेजर्स तो अवेलेबल नहीं है. ब्लैक टी-शर्ट्स है सर.
आज सिर्फ black t-shirt है.
Black and just XL size.
Yeah.
क्यों?
Why is that so? Shirt दिखा दो, tie दिखा दो.
कल तो ये नहीं था, आज अचानक.
तो ये voucher का मैं क्या करूँगी फिर?
सर बट बहुत अच्छी टी-शर्ट. Once you try, you will definitely buy.
जीन्स तो मिलेगा ना हमारा.
मैम आप हमें हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट बताएंगे कि क्या हमें क्या करना चाहिए. भैया क्यों दिमाग खराब कर रहे हो? नहीं लेनी ब्लैक टी-शर्ट.
Where's the manager?
Is your manager here? Can you call the manager?
अपने मैनेजर को बुलाइए प्लीज.
He's the manager.
The whole store has only one.
पहन सकते.
मीटिंग में मैं क्या करूँ?
जो काली टी-शर्ट दिख रही है ना ये
बिल्कुल नहीं. Let's go.
नहीं नहीं सर.
हेलो मैम. हेलो सर. सॉरी यू हैड टू फेस दिस बट आपको आपके कपड़ों में चॉइस नहीं मिली तो आपको इतना बुरा लग रहा. सोचिए ना मुझे कैसा लगता होगा जब मुझे मेरे करियर के लिए चॉइसेस नहीं मिलती. आई वांट टू बी अ गिटारिस्ट बट मेरे पेरेंट्स नहीं चाहते कि मैं वो करूँ.
मेरे भैया को टेनिस बहुत पसंद था. मेरे पेरेंट्स को अच्छा नहीं लगा तो उन्होंने अलाउ ही नहीं किया.
One of my friend, he's very good in maths. So my parents are always comparing him with me.
क्या सबको 90% आना जरूरी है? Does everyone need to be a topper? अगर मुझे डांस में इंटरेस्ट है तो मुझ पे 90% लाने का प्रेशर क्यों है?
जैसे आप सबको हर चीज़ की चॉइसेस मिलती है, मुझे भी मेरे करियर के लिए चॉइसेस मिलनी चाहिए.
बात तो सही है तुम्हारी बेटा.
आपको क्या बनना है बड़े होके?
मुझे एक सिंगर और एक डायरेक्टर बनना है.
So you will be a director who sings. That's amazing.
रोहित शर्मा मुझे बहुत पसंद है. I like his pull shot.
मुझे क्रिकेटर बनना था तो उस टाइम मुझे क्रिकेटर नहीं बनने दिया.
आप वही बनना जो आप चाहते हो. It's okay.
So this is all because of you?
Yes. ये एक टी शर्ट सबको फिट नहीं होगी ना, तो सबको डॉक्टर बनना जरूरी है.
I'm sure most of us would be appreciating what the children in this video said, because that is what is a reality. But I'm sure that the new education policy, it will be resolving most of these issues, because it carries a vision of creating an education system that will diversify education to give people broad skill sets that will make them more compatible with digitalization of the workforce. I'm sure Dr. Gulshansharma has been mentioning in his various programs about education will not be such that it will only be stereotyped. If a child really wants to excel, as the young child said, I wanted to be a guitarist or I wanted to be a cricketer, I'm sure in times to come, the education will definitely bring out the best of the inherent qualities of every child. I will share with you some of the schemes which are being promoted, which are being brought out by the government in the recent years to promote skilling and entrepreneurship, dovetailing it with education, and thus making education more relevant. with a scheme called Aspire. Its full form is a scheme for promoting innovation and rural entrepreneurship. The primary objectives are to create new jobs in the MSME sector and reduce unemployment. Every child at the end of their education wants to be either getting a meaningful job or doing something which becomes more relevant for their existence in the society. That either they can become job providers to the people instead of being barely remaining as job seekers. And that is where the Aspire helps in promoting entrepreneurship, especially in agro and rural industry, facilitating innovative business solutions, and to promote startups for innovations. I have been giving the various websites where all these things would be available. And the Aspire scheme gives two components in terms of livelihood business incubator and technology business incubator. The livelihood business incubators are more for those who could not study for some reason, or school walkouts, or even for those who wanted to become something. Let me narrate to you an incident which I came across even abroad, a place like Durban, where somebody who was basically working as an accountant in a sugar factory walks up to us when we were doing an assignment over there and says, "Maine bahut naukri kar li." He was of an Indian origin and he says, "I have been serving people so far as an accountant, but I would like to do something of my own where I can give employment." So this is where it helps to set up business incubators for eligible youth to be incubated for various skills and provide opportunities to set up own business enterprises, to provide mentoring and hand-holding with facilitation for funding of own enterprises, and to promote low-end technology, livelihood-based enterprises. Let me share with you a small video of the Livelihood Business Incubator, which we had set up at my organization, the National Small Industries Corporation. And ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you that this is what was sought to be replicated not only across our country, but even in various countries abroad. Even the foreign, what you call our Ministry of External Affairs wanted NSIC to replicate it under the bilateral relationship in some of these African countries. Let me share with you this small video.
राष्ट्रीय लघु उद्योग निगम NSIC MSME मंत्रालय भारत सरकार की ISO 9001-2008 सर्टिफाइड मिनी रत्न कंपनी है। NSIC लगभग 6 दशकों से भारत में लघु उद्योग को विकसित करने की दिशा में काम कर रही है। इस संस्था ने कमर्शियल सर्विसेज के साथ साथ टेक्निकल सपोर्ट को प्राथमिकता देते हुए भारत के अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में interaction with technology suppliers, guidance to set up enterprise, credit facilitation through banks. इंक्यूबेशन प्रोग्राम में थ्योरी के साथ साथ प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग के दौरान प्रोजेक्ट्स की सभी बारीकियों से ट्रेनीज को अवगत कराया जाता है। हर प्रोजेक्ट की डिटेल्ड जानकारी प्रदान करने के लिए इंस्ट्रक्टर मौजूद रहते हैं।
Ladies and gentlemen, I think there was a little difficulty in the net. Professor, our Ravindra Nath ji once again would be joining us in a little while. We are just waiting for him to join. Let him come. Once he takes on, it was beautiful on the NSIC. He was showing a great journey of the micro, small, and the medium enterprise, which we take into consideration. And we will take it further. We will work on to it. We'll plan on to it. And Shri Ravindra Nath ji, our chairman of the MSME vertical, he was the one who was taking this particular wonderful presentation. And he was giving you the display basically, where he was trying to show you that what exactly is happening in the NSIC, the efforts which have been put in, and what all best has been done over there. I think it was a technical challenge. We will get him soon with us, and we will resume the journey once again, and we will plan it out. Meanwhile, you remember that Honorable Advisor Chandigarh Administration has given wonderful vision. He has given wonderful views. Now somebody to write on the YouTube and give it to me. The correct answer will fetch the prize. He mentioned that we want to make Chandigarh carbon neutral. What was the year he has given? He told, we want to make Chandigarh carbon neutral. Which year has he given? Can somebody write on the YouTube? If you can write on the YouTube, I'll get the idea that who is the winner. Somebody got to write it. Somebody got to give it to me. That Honorable Advisor Chandigarh Administration, Shri Dharampalji made a mention that we want to make Chandigarh carbon neutral. What did he make a mention? Which year he mentioned? Can you post your views? Can you post your views? So we just wish to know, we just wish to understand. Can somebody post it over here? Can somebody write? The quiz question for all of us by the time Shri Ravindra Nath ji joins us, we wish to know that over here, he made a mention, the advisor Chandigarh, when he was talking about waste management, modern, the model solar city. Then he talked about electric buses. He talked about Air Force Heritage Museum. He talked about education, health, wellness, and tourism and Bollywood facilitation cell. In between, he made one mention, and where he made a talk that we want to make Chandigarh carbon neutral. Can somebody write on the YouTube? And the correct answer would certainly get you the prize. I wish to know, what did he make a mention? What did he write? What did he say with regard to Chandigarh, where he wanted to tell that, look, we want to make Chandigarh carbon neutral. And we have got our distinguished guest, not only guest, he is a co-brother, and he is equally responsible to take the chamber forward. And he was giving a beautiful video to all of you on the NSIC, which we all were witnessing. In between, sir, I thought, let me give them a question for the YouTube if somebody gives a correct answer. Because the Honorable Advisor asked, we want to make Chandigarh carbon neutral. So what year he made a mention? That's what is the question I was just taking with the public on the YouTube. But meanwhile, if you're ready, sir, we can go ahead.
My apologies, but there was a technical glitch, sir. Suddenly,
it can happen, sir. It can happen.
I'll just continue, sir, from where I
Sure,
did.
Please,
and,
please. Please go ahead, sir.
इंक्यूबेशन कम ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम के प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं ऑटोमेटिक सॉक्स नेटिंग, बिस्किट मेकिंग, आर्म फिल एंड सीलिंग, ऑयल एक्सपेलर, सोया मिल्क प्रोडक्शन, बुक बाइंडिंग, स्पाइस ग्राइंडिंग, पेपर प्लेट मेकिंग, कंप्यूटर एम्ब्रॉयडरी, cutting and tailoring, fashion designing, beautician, wire nail making, पेट बॉटल मेकिंग, मिनी ऑफसेट प्रिंटिंग और पेपर नैपकिन मेकिंग। युवाओं में उद्यम विकास के लिए चलाए जा रहे इंक्यूबेशन कार्यक्रम के कोर्स की अवधि 1 से 12 महीने तक की होती है। इसमें दाखिला लेने के लिए न्यूनतम योग्यता 10वीं पास है। NSIC के टेक्निकल सर्विसेज सेंटर का इंक्यूबेशन कम ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम महत्वाकांक्षी युवाओं को उनकी इच्छा के अनुसार ट्रेनिंग, स्वरोजगार प्रदान करने का एक प्रयास है और भविष्य में यही युवा जॉब प्रोवाइडर्स बनकर रोजगार प्रदान करने का माध्यम बनेंगे। इंक्यूबेशन कम ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम के संबंध में और अधिक जानकारी प्राप्त करने के लिए आप NSIC या NTSC के नजदीकी शाखा कार्यालय से संपर्क कर सकते हैं। टोल फ्री नंबर है 1800111955। www.nsic.co.in पर भी लॉगिन कर सकते हैं।
Even in a small presentation which I just shared with you through this video, there are several enormous success stories of the youth as well as some others. I shared with you one of South Africa, which was there, but there are several even in India. Somebody who learns spice grinding says, well, I really have carried the aptitude and the vision to become one of the leading spice manufacturers in our country. And I would definitely like to see one day that I can stand somewhere near the legendary MDH, the senior leader. And this young boy who has already started, talking about exports of the spices to various foreign countries. There have been young women, I would say, who have learned something like biscuit making, something like soya milk, when people are getting more and more health conscious, and are running their small startups in these areas. Somewhere in those rural areas where water is a challenge, I still distinctly remember there was a young man who learned water filtration, dovetailed it with packing, and was manufacturing water, what you call the filtered water, and was able to provide it to all those colonies around him where proper water wasn't available. So these are all what you call small initiatives which can be taken as a part of the livelihood business incubation under the Aspire scheme of the Ministry of MSME Government of India. They also carry a scheme for technology business incubator, wherein for setting up of technology-based incubators of innovative incubation of innovative ideas and technologies for potential sectors in agro and rural industries. And it also provides a platform for speedy commercialization of technologies developed in host institutions, academic and R&D institutions. And it provides a platform for value-added services. Then we also have the scheme which provides support for entrepreneurial and managerial development of SMEs through the incubators. Again, it is the scheme of the Ministry of MSME. Its details are available on the website of dcmsme.gov.in. And the main objectives of this scheme are to promote and support untapped creativity of individuals and to further promote the latest technologies in manufacturing, as well as digital transformation through knowledge-based innovative MSMEs, or those ventures that seek the validation of their ideas at the proof of concept level. This scheme, the proposed activities are recognition of the eligible institutions as host institute to set up business incubator. It also has gives approval of ideas of incubatees of the host institute, provides financial assistance for nurturing of ideas to the host institute, and the financial assistance as capital support to host institute for plant and machines, and financial assistance as a seed capital support to the deserving ideas, and also provides money for awareness and who all can apply. Students, the entrepreneurs of institutions such as technical colleges, universities, and other professional colleges, institutes, the R&D institutes, the NGOs involved in the various activities, the MSME DI, the Development Institute, the technology centers, the DICs or any institute of the central or state governments, and the host institute may apply to the National Monitoring and Implementing Unit through the implementing agency on MIS portal for availing benefits of the schemes. As I already said, the updated scheme is available on the website of DC MSME Government of India, gov.in, scheme/NMCP scm.htm. Then we have another beautiful scheme under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. The PMKVY, it enables the Indian youth to undertake industry-related skill training that will help to do job and earn money for better living. It will really skill you, upskill you, reskill you as per the requirements of the industry. And the objectives of PMKVY are to create an ecosystem for the youth to make informed choices on the available skilling avenues. It provides support to youth for skill training and certification. It promotes sustainable skill centers for greater participation of the private sector. The details of this scheme are available under the website skillindia.nsdcindia.org. If I may just share with you a small video on Hunar Hai to Qadar Hai, and who better than the legendary Sachin Tendulkar ji to talk about the Hunar.
हम सभी को लाइफ में अपने हुनर को निखारते रहना चाहिए, चाहे वो कारपेंटर हो, इलेक्ट्रिशियन या शेफ हो। हर दिन अगर आप बेहतर बनने की कोशिश करते रहोगे तो रिजल्ट्स उसके अच्छे लगते हैं। ये एक ऐसी जर्नी है जो मैं आपको यकीन से कह सकता हूँ कि ख़त्म नहीं होनी चाहिए। जब लाइफ में आप कामयाबी हासिल करते हो तो खुशी होनी ज़रूरी है, मगर जब संतुष्टि होती है तो मैं समझता हूँ आपकी प्रोग्रेस रुक जाती है। बैलेंस मेंटेन करना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है। जब आप सारा दिन मेहनत करके वापस आते हो, खुद को शीशे में देखते हो, तो एक ही जवाब मिलना चाहिए कि आज मैंने पूरी कोशिश की, आज मैं कल से बेहतर हूँ और कल मैं आज से बेहतर बनूंगा। जब हमारी सोच सही है और ये सारी चीज़ें इकट्ठा आती है, तब कह सकते हैं तैयार हम। I support Skill India, कौशल भारत, कुशल भारत।
एक और वीडियो देखिएगा जहां पर फिर वो बात हुनर की कर रहे हैं। हुनर है तो कदर है।
महेश, क्या चेयर बनाया? तेरे हाथ में कुछ जादू है।
क्या भाऊ, जादू तो आपके हाथों में।
ओए, हम दोनों में कोई फर्क नहीं है।
भाऊ, मैं तो सिर्फ 10वीं तक ही पढ़ा हूँ।
तो उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? तुमने एक लकड़ी के टुकड़े से क्या माइंड ब्लोइंग चेयर बनाया। महेश को चाय दो। जब मेरे हाथ में लकड़ी का बैट होता है ना, मैं भी थोड़ा कुछ कर लेता हूँ।
थोड़ा?
हम दोनों के इन हाथों में हुनर है। कारपेंटर हो या क्रिकेटर, हुनर होना जरूरी है। तो फर्क क्यों?
मतलब हम में कोई फर्क नहीं है?
बिल्कुल नहीं है।
भाऊ, ये बात बस आप मेरी बीवी को बता दो।
ये बात महेश तो समझ गया। और आप? आई सपोर्ट स्किल इंडिया। आप भी जुड़े स्किल इंडिया के साथ और सीखिए वो हुनर जो ना सिर्फ आपको दे रोजगार, पर समाज में दे सम्मान जिसके आप हकदार हैं। कौशल भारत, कुशल भारत।
See, that is where we always say education dovetailed with skills, dovetailed with spirit of an entrepreneur will make India an excellent place to be in. If we go back in yesteryears, we always used to be called Sone ki Chidiya, and Sone ki Chidiya was made by us all with small learnings which we had in different skill sets. Moving on, I would now like to mention about the Atal Innovation Mission. It's an initiative of the Government of India to promote the culture of entrepreneurship and innovations across the nation. AIM works for the establishment and development of an ecosystem of entrepreneurship at various levels that include MSMEs, corporates, NGOs, higher secondary schools, and science and engineering institutions. AIM plans to establish and promote small business innovation research and development at national scale and startups, for startups, SMEs, micro and small enterprises. Let me show you another video which talks about AIM and what is happening.
Innovation is a need of the hour in a generation which is on the cusp of fourth industrial revolution, according to many global experts and leaders. It is clear that the youngsters of today's world can lead the innovation sphere. India, which is the fastest growing economy, is believed to be the brightest place for innovations to take place, according to many experts. India is moving in an era of Make in India, but the time has come for elevating this mission to innovate in India, and Atal Innovation Mission is launched. Atal Innovation Mission is set up under National Institution for Transforming India, Niti Aayog. The aim of the mission is to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. Its objective is to serve as a platform for promotion of world-class innovation hubs, grand challenges, startup businesses, and other self-employment activities, particularly in technology-driven areas. It provides an innovation promotion platform involving academics, entrepreneurs, and researchers, drawing upon national and international experiences to foster a culture of innovation. The platform will also promote a network of world-class innovation hubs and grand challenges for India. Atal Innovation Mission shall have two core functions. One is entrepreneurship promotion through self-employment and talent utilization, SETU, wherein innovators would be supported and mentored to become successful entrepreneurs. Second is innovation promotion to provide a platform where innovative ideas are generated. On the other side, Atal Innovation Mission is establishing Atal Tinkering Laboratories in schools across India with a vision to cultivate 1 million children in India as neoteric innovators. Also, Atal Innovation Mission intends to establish Atal Incubation Centers across India that would further support and encourage startups to become successful enterprises. Atal Grand Challenge Awards will be given under the Atal Innovation Mission to those who develop novel disruptive technologies that are ultra low cost, low maintenance, durable, and customized to the local conditions of India. Global experts believe that a smart, proactive strategy for innovation supported by appropriate leadership from the government and the private sector can help elevate India's mission to innovate in India, and Atal Innovation Mission is certainly working in that direction of making India a hub for innovation. Bureau Report, DD News. That a smart, proactive strategy for innovation supported by appropriate leadership.
I share with you another video. How people are participating.
These young minds are from the rural hinterland in Gazwal Mandal of Medak district in Telangana. These students wanted to experiment with what they learned in their textbooks. But this was until recently a mere dream for them. A majority of them come from an agricultural background, as Gazwal is totally dependent on agriculture. Despite challenges and difficulties, these students did not give up. And finally, it was a dream come true for these young boys and girls.
Which has got selected to the Atal Tinkering Labs in the whole Telangana, and also I'm feeling so proud. I want to salute to the Narendra Modi sir, because sir had done this many things for us, and also it is a good opportunity and one of the best opportunity to us to improve our knowledge and also to innovate our minds.
This lab was established in the school at a cost of 12 lakh rupees.
This laboratory will help in honing the skills of rural youth who have devotion towards science and technology.
The lab provides an opportunity to students to learn several aspects of a concept, be it science or technology. Instructors of the lab introduce these students to various innovations through STEM method, a curriculum based on the idea of educating students in the 4 specific disciplines: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, in an interdisciplinary and applied approach.
Atal Tinkering Labs, as you just saw in that, it aims at establishing Atal Tinkering Labs in school to develop creativity and imagination in the minds of children and enhances their skill sets related to computation thoughts, design, physical computing, and adaptive learning. ATLs, that is the Atal Tinkering Labs, are set up at schools which are managed by government, local bodies, society, private trust, and should be from the grade 6 to 10. Another example, but through a video of how people have benefited through the Atal Tinkering Labs.
Back home, the Atal Tinkering Labs are doing great work of educating the youth, especially school students, of new innovative techniques and helping them imbibe a scientific culture among them. Here's a success story from Rabia Girls Public School in Old Delhi's Chandni Chowk.
The Rabia Girls Public School in Old Delhi's Chandni Chowk is bustling with new enthusiasm these days, all thanks to the introduction of a number of exciting new projects the students are involved in, like the Smart Housing project, which will have a rainwater harvesting mechanism within. Another student has experimented with the preparation of bioplastic from waste matter.
In this system, we have that rainwater collector in which the rainwater is collected, then it goes to the water filter and tanker and to all parts of the house. It can be used for domestic household works also and even for drinking. And another system is the wastewater from the RO, AC goes to the tank which is collected in the washroom, and it can be used for the washroom uses also. My project is bioplastic, which can beat up the normal plastic, which is non-biodegradable, as it is made up of only natural ingredients like aloe vera, starch, and no other chemical I have used. This is very much durable and very much strong and strengthful as our normal plastic is.
These students in the Atal Tinkering Labs are busy at work, eagerly looking into ways to solve problems of daily life with innovative ideas and techniques. One such is the environment-friendly 3D printing machine, which is user-friendly too.
This is a wonderful machine which uses a filament. There is a green wire back there. It is a biodegradable material. So this is a very good news for our environment, that technology and environment can go hand in hand.
The Atal Tinkering Labs are doing great work of educating the youth, especially school students, of new innovative techniques and helping them imbibe a scientific culture among them.
There is a huge skill set is required for the upcoming years. And here with the Atal Tinkering Lab, the students are learning different types of new advanced technologies. They are bringing out the devices. They're bringing life into prototypes, and actually they are doing problem-solving statements.
Government of India have taken this initiative to give us an opportunity for making this innovative lab in every schools. Bringing students and innovative ideas and demonstrating on hands-on practice and encouraging the students' interaction and idea exchange programs.
More than 5,000 schools have these labs countrywide, and lakhs of youngsters are benefiting from them. The Niti Aayog is now looking at the building of 10,000 more Atal Tinkering Labs by this year end. With Nishant Saurabh, News Night Desk, DD India.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the point which I'm trying to make is that this is what India requires. And this is what the Indian government is really coming to your doorstep almost in providing you the facilities, providing you the required resources, so as the Indian child, even in school, their brains can be made to dream what all they can do and provide them a platform for them to learn and do it practically, what can be done. Why leave it to a stage where we would say that we'll do it when we reach the college or maybe when we come out of the college? Why can it not be done now? Moving on to the Atal Incubation Centers, it also encourages entrepreneurial startups, the women-led incubators in every state and sector of the nation in specific areas including manufacturing, water, agriculture, education, energy, health, etc. The AIC applicant needs to provide at least 10,000 square feet ready to use and built up And the Atal Community Innovation Center focuses on unserved, undeserved regions of the nation, which currently does not have any startup innovation ecosystem. As I said, the website to be reached across is www.aim.gov.in. Let me show you another video, again, the emphasis on women.
As we all know that women are good managers. They can manage your home, they can manage your company, and they can manage your economy. And keeping this thing in mind, a group of women came together and have started the Association Lady Entrepreneurs of India in Hyderabad. Well, this association is actually giving platform to all the women entrepreneurs who have different ideas and want to start their own business. Well, how this journey has started and how the Atal Innovation Mission is helping them in this journey to fulfill this dream. Let's take a look. Welcome to the yet another episode of Y Factor. I am Shishir Shilar, and today we are at the Association of Lady Entrepreneurs of India, Hyderabad facility, where we'll be talking to some of the young entrepreneurs also and the lady entrepreneurs who have started their business quite well. Right now we have with us K. Ramadevi, the president of ALEEP. Ma'am, it's been a 2-decade journey that ALEEP has started. How exactly it started?
Yeah, we are a Section 8 company, Association Lady Entrepreneurs of India. We are registered Section 8 non-profit organization in the year 1994, December 18th. We are almost 25 years old organization with a main objective to empower women into economic activity. This is the main objective, and we are supported by various ministries of Government of India and the state governments, and we are all over India. And our journey started with a very small beginning. Like we had only 4 to 5 members in the initial stage actually.
Namaste, I'm Shailaja Shekhar. I'm the founder director Vaibhava Robotics. We are into STEM educators and we build a brand of innovators because I basically go with rural areas of the students and will train the students to come up with the innovative ideas because we are trying to bring a revolutionary change in the school education. Creativity comes from the children. And there is a lot of knowledge in the children where we come up with good innovative strategies to solve the general problems that what we have in the society. This Atal AIM AIC here in VHub is really giving us a good chance by providing the incubation, like they are setting up the innovation lab for us where we can train a number of students here by using such kind of missions all over.
Also a startup when you started?
Yeah, almost startup in a different way. Like I used to have a sick unit and I nurtured it into a healthy unit, and I know the problems of an industry, particularly manufacturing sector dealing with MSMEs. So I was taken into various boards of Government of India, particularly in the Ministry of MSME. So I could get the advantage of knowing what are the schemes relevant for women entrepreneurs and MSME sector. So that experience given to me was implemented as a industry association. We're providing ecosystem to our startups and a lot of entrepreneurs who had a dream to become a successful entrepreneur. They came to us in very big numbers.
See, before I move on, I must like to mention that taking a cue from Madam Ramadevi, one thing which she just mentioned, and if we heard her clearly, was we must know what are the various schemes of the Government of India. There are n number of schemes which can provide you support. There are n number of schemes through which we can really educate the youth to take advantage of that and come out with the great desire they have within themselves, the potential they carry within themselves to really develop something in terms of innovation, in terms of giving to the society something new. You just saw in a previous video how she talks about robotics, how the girl talks about water harvesting and things like that. These are all avenues where taking advantage of the schemes of the government, they could really do all these things possible and become role models from us. And especially in the videos which I've just shown, I've tried to portray and try to emphasize the women power in our country. And that what made me share with you the Women Entrepreneurship Platform, which is there. The WEP is a unified access portal which brings together women from different parts of India, building a nurturing ecosystem that enables them to realize their entrepreneurial aspirations. अक्सर कहा जाता है लड़कियों को ये नहीं कर पाएंगी, ये शायद इनके लिए थोड़ा मुश्किल है, पर ये जितने भी अभी हाल ही में मैंने आपसे वीडियो शेयर किए हैं, जो स्कीम्स भी हैं भारत सरकार की, उनमें ये सब सुविधाएं का लाभ उठाते हुए women and even the girl child in the school, they have exhibited the resoluteness and the keen desire they carry in coming ahead, standing ahead of others in exhibiting their intelligentsia in what all they can do and the entrepreneurial aspirations they carry within themselves. The WEP achieves this by facilitating relevant information and services through key partnerships. WEP hosts information and services relevant to women entrepreneurs in 6 key areas, that is community and networking, funding and financial assistance, incubation and acceleration, compliance and tax assistance, marketing assistance, entrepreneurship and skilling. These WEP is built on 3 pillars, that is the Ichha Shakti, representing the motivational, aspiring entrepreneurs to start the business. Gyan Shakti, which represents providing knowledge and ecosystem support to women entrepreneurs to foster entrepreneurship. And Karma Shakti, which represents providing hands-on support to entrepreneurs in setting and scaling up businesses. Let me again prove this by another video which is available on Women Entrepreneurship Platform 3.0, Niti Aayog.
Entrepreneurship Platform is a Government of India initiative by Niti Aayog to promote and support aspiring and established women entrepreneurs in India and handhold them in their journey from starting to scaling up and expanding their ventures. It was announced 2 years ago at the Global Entrepreneurship Summit in September 2017 in Hyderabad.
Women of India embody the spirit of a vibrant, entrepreneurial and enterprising new India. We need to build the nation together.
WEP is an aggregator platform which strives to improve industry linkages and awareness of existing programs. It provides access to peer support, learning resources, and mentorship. The platform has successfully supported women entrepreneurs by providing them access to incubation and acceleration through AIC Banasthali, Access Livelihoods, WE Hub, A-Leap, Nexus, funding and financial assistance through Niti Aayog's Investment Council, Niti UN Investor Consortium, entrepreneurship skilling through webinars, videos, online masterclasses, taxation, accounting, and compliance support, with the support of CA expert, DASRA, ICAI.
Niti Aayog is doing so well with its Women Entrepreneurship Platform.
WEP has grown by leaps and bounds in these 2 years. 14,000 plus women registered, 100 plus knowledge bank resources, 30 plus partners are onboarded, 500 plus entrepreneurs benefited, 2,300 plus registrations for the 4th edition of the WTI Awards.
The future belongs to the women who dare to dream. WEP is an initiative which helps women achieve their dreams.
You need to be the leader you know you are and be your most authentic self while leading your team.
If you're looking for ideas to make a difference to the world, just go for those for which you're irrationally passionate about.
Women of the 21st century are changing the world. We are the ones that's creating the future.
So that is what all is there, but then that is not enough. There's still much more. And then we have the scheme of UDAN, implemented by NSDC and funded by the Ministry of Home Affairs. UDAN is a special industry initiative for the youth of J&K. This program fulfills the requirements of educated, unemployed youth of J&K by providing skills and job opportunities. The prime focus lays on graduates, postgraduates and 3-year diploma engineers. And this program manages travel trips for youth and undertaking training in firms. A small video on this also, which will show as to how people have been benefited in the recent times.
बेरोजगारी की समस्या से जूझ रहे कश्मीरी युवाओं के लिए केंद्र सरकार उड़ान नाम से खास योजना चला रही है। सरकार की उड़ान योजना के तहत देश की बड़ी कंपनियों में से एक टीसीएस सेना के साथ मिलकर घाटी के विद्रोह प्रभावित इलाकों के शिक्षित युवाओं को नौकरी दिलाने का प्रयास कर रही है। इस योजना का मकसद घाटी के युवाओं के जीवन को नई उड़ान देना है ताकि कश्मीरी युवा देश के विकास में अपना योगदान दे सकें। आइए देखते हैं ये रिपोर्ट।
जम्मू कश्मीर में जब आप सेना के बारे में सोचते हैं तो आपके दिमाग में आतंकियों से मुकाबला करते और सीमा की रक्षा करते सैनिकों की छवि उभरती होगी, लेकिन सेना की भूमिका यहीं तक सीमित नहीं है। सेना अब कश्मीर घाटी के युवाओं को देश की टॉप कंपनियों में नौकरी दिलाने में भी मदद कर रही है। केंद्र सरकार की उड़ान स्कीम के तहत देश की बड़ी कंपनियों में से एक टीसीएस सेना के साथ मिलकर घाटी के विद्रोह प्रभावित इलाकों के शिक्षित युवाओं को नौकरी दिलाने के लिए योजना चला रही है। इस तरह की पहल से घाटी के युवाओं में उत्साह है।
बेसिकली पहले अगर कोई टीसीएल में इंटरव्यू देने जाता है तो उसको पहले मुंबई जाना पड़े, बेंगलोर, क्योंकि वहाँ कंपनीज है, वहीं की कंपनी, नेचुरल सी बात है वहीं इंटरव्यू देने। लेकिन हमारे लिए आर्मी ये सुविधा दे रही है, तो ये हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छी बात है कि हम यहीं पे अपने ही गांव में, अपने ही डिस्ट्रिक्ट में बैठ के इंटरव्यू दे रहे हैं और दूसरे स्टेट के लिए, दूसरे स्टेट की कंपनीज के लिए।
वी ऑल नो कश्मीर इज पासिंग थ्रू बैड सिचुएशन। इफ सम प्राइवेट कंपनी इज कमिंग टू सॉल्व दिस क्राइसिस, इट्स वी थैंक फॉर ऑल दिस एंड Army is facilitating all this. It's a great step and we applaud, we appreciate all these steps.
इस योजना के तहत देश की जानी मानी बड़ी कंपनियां 5 सालों में राज्य के 40,000 युवाओं को नौकरी देंगी। मौका कश्मीरी युवाओं को मिल रहा है और इसमें सेना अपनी तरफ से हर तरह की मदद मुहैया करा रही है।
The idea is to trap the talent of the local area, those graduates who are educated but are not placed. This is one of the main reasons, as we see when there are educated people but who are not employed, so they tend to divert their energy in activities which do not contribute to the economy of the nation. So to trap that talent and so that we have a better placed youth, this is another initiative from the Indian Army.
बेरोजगारी की समस्या से जूझ रहे कश्मीरी युवाओं के लिए केंद्र सरकार, राज्य सरकार और सेना के साथ मिलकर चल रही इस योजना का मकसद घाटी के युवाओं के जीवन को नई उड़ान देना है ताकि घाटी का युवा देश के विकास में अपना योगदान दे सके। राष्ट्रीय कौशल विकास निगम के द्वारा शुरू की गई उड़ान योजना राज्य के युवाओं को कौशल प्रदान कर रही है ताकि यहाँ का युवा अपने पैरों पर खड़ा हो सके। दरअसल घाटी का युवा राज्य से बाहर नहीं जाना चाहता, ऐसे में सरकार इन युवाओं को विशेष प्रोत्साहन दे रही है। सेना की लोकल यूनिट को इस प्रक्रिया में शामिल करने से छोटे कस्बों के युवाओं को भी मौके मिल रहे हैं। नंदिता डागर की रिपोर्ट, डीडी न्यूज।
बेरोजगारी की समस्या से जूझ रहे कश्मीरी युवाओं के लिए
See, that is the initiative which has been taken even in the most challenged areas of J&K. Then we move on to the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushal Yojana. It talks about placement-linked skill training initiative of the Ministry of Rural Development. It works to transform rural youth in economically independent sections of the society. And this scheme is considered as a part of the National Rural Livelihood Mission that focuses on adding diversity to the incomes of rural poor families. And this Yojana partners are supported through capacity building, strategies for retention, investment, and technology support. Let me share with you another small video on this.
ग्रामीण भारत में चुनौतियों की लंबी फहरिस्त है
इन कठिनाइयों के प्रभावी समाधान के लिए ग्रामीण युवाओं को उनके परिदृश्य में और उनके संदर्भ में हुनर को तराशने की अनूठी पहल है दीनदयाल उपाध्याय ग्रामीण कौशल्य योजना। अब अभावग्रस्त ग्रामीण युवा हुनर प्राप्त कर आत्मनिर्भर हो रहे हैं और लोगों को भी रोजगार के अवसर उपलब्ध करा रहे हैं।
दीनदयाल उपाध्याय ग्रामीण कौशल योजना के तहत मैं ट्रेनिंग ले रहा हूँ हेल्पर इलेक्ट्रिशियन का। मैं 6 मंथ तक ट्रेनिंग ले रहा हूँ और यहाँ उसके बाद जॉब दिलाई जाती है। यहाँ निःशुल्क सब कुछ प्रशिक्षण दिया जाता है।
मैं यहाँ DDU-GKY में ट्रेनिंग किया हूँ। अभी मेरा प्लेसमेंट हो चुका है रिलायंस ट्रेंड मॉल में और मैं सेल्समैन का पद पे हूँ।
हेल्पर इलेक्ट्रिशियन उसमें लिए तो इसमें ट्रेनिंग किए 6 मंथ। इसमें अब मेरा जॉब होने वाला है 22 तारीख को जाने वाले हैं हरियाणा।
Then even the Mudra Bank, the Micro Units Development Refinance Agency, popularly known as Mudra. This bank has been created to enhance credit facility and boost growth of small business in rural areas especially. No collateral or security is required by banks or financial institutions to avail Mudra loan. The various products and how they have benefited the various successful entrepreneurs which are there. Let me share with you another success story.
देश में पहली बार माइक्रो फाइनेंस के ढांचे को बदलने के लिए सरकार ने प्रधानमंत्री मुद्रा योजना की शुरुआत की।
आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने जो ये मुद्रा योजना चलाई है, इसके तहत जो मुझे आज 2 लाख का लोन मिला है, पेपर वर्क कंप्लीट कराने के बाद मुझे ये लोन आसानी से मिल गया, जिससे मुझे अब मैं नई मशीन्स ले सकती हूँ और अपना रॉ मटेरियल खरीद सकती हूँ।
न सिर्फ ये योजना व्यवसाय शुरू करने या बढ़ाने में मदद करती है, इससे देश के कई लोगों को रोजगार के बेहतरीन मौके भी मिले हैं।
इससे मैं 2 मैन पावर की जरूरत है, उन्हें भी रोजगार मिलेगा, मेरा काम बढ़ेगा, मेरा विकास होगा तो मुझसे मेरे समाज का और देश का भी विकास होगा।
अब 10 लाख तक का लोन पाएं और अपनी पूंजी अपनी कुंजी बनाएं।
बैंक के अधिकारियों ने मुझे बताया है जैसे जैसे मेरा काम विकास करेगा तो वो ये मेरे लोन की सीमा को बढ़ा करके 10 लाख तक पहुंचा सकते हैं। इसके लिए मैं प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का धन्यवाद करती हूँ, क्योंकि इस लोन को लेने के लिए हमारे को ना ही तो कोई गारंटी देनी है, ना ही कोई सिक्योरिटी, और ब्याज दर भी इसमें नामात्र है।
छोटे व्यापारियों को अब सरकार का साथ है, विश्वास है, हो रहा विकास है।
In all these schemes which I've just shared with you, I wanted to share the important websites. The msme.gov.in, msde.gov.in, dcmsme.gov.in, nsic.co.in, nsdcindia.org, skillindia.nsdcindia.org, and these are some these are the important what you call the important websites which can be there, which can be taken advantage. But then if Dr. Gulshansharma gives me a little bit of more time, I would like to share some of the stories of yesteryears. What we talk about entrepreneurship, people who studied, they set up their own enterprises, and there are several success stories of those who could not study, and they also became very prominent entrepreneurs as case studies for us and our children. अक्सर बच्चों को सुना गया है ये कहते हुए ऐसा कभी हुआ था. They always believe in the realities which have occurred, and that is what made me think about sharing a few of the success stories of the past. The most important, and in queue with the women entrepreneurship stories which I've just shared in the various videos, I would like to share the story of Lajjat Papad. This was set up. This is the story of Shri Mahila Griha Udyog Lajjat Papad. Ladies and gentlemen, if you recollect, because this is one dish, one aspect of our eating, which is being consumed probably in every household. सर्दियां हो, गर्मियां हो, कोई हो, कई लोग बिना खाने को पूरा ही नहीं समझते जब तक उनको पापड़ नहीं सर्व किया जाता. और यही कहानी है जहां पर 7 लेडी मेंबर्स ने मिलकर और मात्र 80 रुपए के लागत से उन्होंने अपना एक छोटा सा संस्थान शुरू किया 15 मार्च 1959 को. Entrepreneurship is not a new story. Entrepreneurship is a story which always existed in our country. भारत ऐसे नहीं, जब बीते कल में भी अगर एक सोने की चिड़िया माना जाता था, और हाल ही में देश के इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद भी कई सारे ऐसे उद्योग बने जिन्होंने अपने सामर्थ्य से, अपनी मेहनत से अपने आप को ही नहीं एस्टैब्लिश किया, मगर उन लोगों को भी अपने साथ जोड़ा जो आज के युग के लिए, आज के युवाओं के लिए, आज के बच्चों के लिए एक मार्गदर्शन का काम करते हैं. और उसी पंक्ति में ये महिला गृह उद्योग लिज्जत पापड़ की कहानी आती है. 80 रुपए से स्टार्ट करते हुए आज आप जानते हैं कि इन्हीं की जो सेल है वो it runs into billions of rupees. All across the country they have a presence. And tell me which country you won't find the products of Lijjat Papad. Moving on, we have another story of Karshan Bhai Patel, the owner of Nirma. After this, he set up this enterprise of his after the name of his daughter, Nirupama, and this was established in 1969. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Patel was a one-man company. He used to do this business of selling detergents after office hours on his bicycle through the neighborhoods, and he sold this detergent at ₹3 per kg, which was 1/3 of the price of the leading detergents at that time. And after 3 years, let us remember that he quit his job and started his own. And today we know it's one of the biggest companies, and Karshan Bhai is no longer Karshan Bhai, he's Dr. Karshan Bhai. We also fondly remember Mr. Narayana Murthy, and Mr. Narayana Murthy is also being recognized by his Infosys, the brand which is recognized world over when it comes to computers and computing services. It was founded in July 1981 by Mr. Narayana Murthy with 6 other professionals, and they pooled the savings of ₹10,000, and these other members included the leading dignitaries of our country, Mr. Nilekani, S. Gopalakrishnan, Ashok Aroda, N.S. Raghavan, K. Dinesh, and Sibulai. All these joined to their thoughts together, set up this enterprise, and they believed in themselves basically, and they made them and us all proud of what they have achieved all these years. They all started small with a small investment of 10,000 rupees being contributed by these gentlemen. Then let us not forget the story of Airtel. It started by Mr. Sunil Bharati Mittal. The Bharati Group was started by Mr. Sunil Bharati Mittal as his first business in 1976 at the age of 18 with a capital investment of 20,000, which he borrowed from his father. And I'm sure we all remember him almost every day, every moment. The moment we lose the connection, or if any mobile network doesn't function, we always believe that Airtel is always there with us. And one thing which I never forget is the story of Mr. Vikas Khanna, the Indian Michelin star chef, who landed in America with just $3 in his pocket. It was his passion. It was the pride which he carried in himself, which made him what he is today. Ladies and gentlemen, let us not forget the MSMEs stimulate the entrepreneurial spirits, and it is the diffusion of skills in the rural as well as urban areas which makes this happen. And it is for these MSMEs, I always say these 2 lines, सफल होने की इच्छा, सफल होने के लिए सफलता की इच्छा असफलता के भय से अधिक होनी चाहिए. This is what is meant, and I'm sure in the coming days we would all be remembering the efforts of Dr. Gulshansharma, the various programs which he has done in education, the programs through which he has always inculcated the spirit of entrepreneurship amongst not only the teachers, but also the various children who in different parts of our country, through different schools and colleges, listen to what is being shared with them. And I'm sure we would be creating more of Sunil Mittals tomorrow, more of these legit Papad success stories tomorrow in the days to come, especially when the government of India is providing so much of support. And that is where we always salute the Indian minds, the Indian entrepreneurs who carry this undying spirit of reaching across to the world and making the Indian family proud of what we have been able to achieve. With these words, Dr. Gulshansharma ji, I would like to wind up here. In case you would ask anything or any participant would like to ask anything, I'm always there to answer. How are you, sir? Hope you are doing well. Kindly unmute yourself.
Colonel Menon's mic was giving trouble yesterday also and today also. I think, sir, you got to get it checked up, Colonel Menon, because this is giving trouble that way. So, ladies and gentlemen, we all got the insight, you know, as far as MSME, NSIC, and the future roadmap, the new ways, what all is coming through in future for all of us. Now, sir, tomorrow is the last day for the event. It's a 3 days event. And when we look into the entire philosophy, first day, we just talked about the service industry. And our strategic move was that to bring in investment in service verticals in Northern India. And over there, basically, we wanted that ultimately, we wanted the education should be relevant. And at the same time, children should get skill. And your golden triangle, what you have got, Shiksha, Kaushalta, and Udmita. So that when we take into consideration something very meaningful, which you gave over there. So we have brought the vision right up to this stage. And tomorrow, when we conclude, what do you feel we should give to schools, colleges, institutions, teachers, startups, and new ventures, and the youth, those are aspiring to get the sector of MSME? Because one thing which I have learned in a great way from you is that MSME is the backbone in case if any nation has to develop. And the more and more I have tried to study, the more and more I have tried to understand, if we strengthen the MSME sector in a real sense, in a realistic terms, now what could be the role of NRIs vis-a-vis our MSME?
Sir, if we try to capture what we have discussed, what we have heard since yesterday and today, we heard Dr. Kalsi ji also, we heard Mr. Sudhanshu Pandey also, and we heard several other distinguished people, speakers who came. India is a unique country where we have educated people as well as some of those who were not that fortunate to have received that education. And we all know that, and it is an accepted fact, that if tomorrow we have to provide a panacea for the challenges being there, it is entrepreneurship, it is MSMEs, and the startups. Basically, these words try and fit into different, what you call, situations of the time as to when you started. A successful startup today could be a leading MSME tomorrow. And if you look at the focus sectors, which were being projected by Kalsi ji also, as well as Mr. Sudhanshu Pandey also, and I shared some of them, you would find that even if it is manufacturing in those sectors, even if it is what you call services in those sectors, they all provide ample opportunities for our youth. Now, what needs to be done? If the NRIs come in and back some of these people with investments, I'm sure with the way India is becoming not only a knowledge guru, but also a manufacturing hub in the days to come, India would be well equipped to provide opportunities for our what you call people from abroad. And if I may borrow the words of our would-be president, who mentioned yesterday that earlier if it was a brain drain, let it be made as a case of brain gain. It is these NRIs who would be bringing the gain back to India in terms of the brains which are there. They would also be bringing in the gains to India in terms of the earnings which they have, if those earnings can be very well invested, either in a collaborative way with the MSMEs which are already existing, or in a futuristic way with those MSMEs which are going to be set up. And if they find that idea of the person, because after all, beyond the government providing all the support, it is various what you call leading industrialists, where some of them, if I may take one example, it is the Tatas who are supporting several startups with investments being backed by them. If we remember the famous actor who died during the COVID pandemic, which was there, Sushant Singh Rajput, we know even he was backing some of the startups which are there. So the Indians are already in the process of backing all these brilliant ideas which are being generated by the Indian students. And it is dovetailing of the brains, the gains which they have generated abroad with the initiatives being taken by the Indian government and the infrastructure which is being developed. Earlier what was being said was, India का infrastructure उतना बढ़िया नहीं है. अब आप जिधर भी देख लीजिए, स्मार्ट सिटीज आने की बात कर रहे हैं, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात कर रहे हैं, पोर्ट्स की बात कर रहे हैं, लॉजिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं, व्हाट यू कॉल इंटरनेट हाईवेज की हम बात कर रहे हैं. So these are all opportunities which are emerging in a country, and I fully what you call believe in this thought that, well, yes, tomorrow would be a time for India to be gaining back its strength which it once carried. India was all over the world, and God willing, if we all put our brains together, and especially the efforts which you have been making in the last 2 years to reach across the world through the technology mechanism, starting from Australia and New Zealand early in the morning to Calcutta right at the end of the day, आप ना खुद चैन से बैठते हो ना दूसरों को बैठने देते हो. तो मुझे लगता है कि ये जो आपकी जिज्ञासा है कि भारत को एक दिन मैंने जगत गुरु बना के छोड़ना है, चाहे वो विद्या के क्षेत्र में हो, चाहे वो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के क्षेत्र में हो, तो वो एक दिन पूरी तरह से फलीभूत होगा और उसके फल हमारे रहते रहते ही भारत में प्राप्त होंगे, और इन सबको हम पूरे तय दिल से और खुशी से इसको देखेंगे.
वंडरफुल सर, एक पॉइंट आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहूंगा. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर गिविंग दैट वंडरफुल इनसाइट. नाउ ओवर हियर आई जस्ट विश टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम यू. मान लीजिए पूरे नॉर्थ इंडिया का, बिकॉज आवर फोर्टे इज सर्विसेज सेक्टर, and you had worked very hard with us when you were the CMD of the NSIC, and we wanted to bring basically the services sector in the fold of the MSME at par with manufacturing sector. Now 13th of May 2020, the Honorable Finance Minister, when she made an announcement that now we consider that MSME services sector will be at par with the manufacturing sector. ठीक है sir, that part is being taken care of. Now let's take an example, sir. Practical way we will go, because I need your vision. I need your strength, because nobody can give me the insight better or more than to understand MSME for services segments. Leh and Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Uttarakhand, Delhi, we will leave it for a little while because too big to handle, and Uttar Pradesh, and then of course, city beautiful Chandigarh. Now, services sector, when I'm talking about, and as the Honorable Advisor for Chandigarh administration. In his address, he made a mention that tourism, let's take, is one of the priority area. Wellness is another priority area, and education blended with the skills is another area. If we take youngsters together from North India, Leh and Ladakh children are physically fit, other places also physically fit, mountains, running around, all the places, everything. If we start working towards the wellness in the MSME services sector vertical, the yoga teachers, those are going abroad. Every country is now asking for yoga teachers. Yesterday, Wellness Sector Skill Council CEO, she had come, Monica Behel, and vertical 1, vertical 2, vertical 3, 3 layers of the yoga teachers they have got. Should we work out a strategy? Because I recall the agenda of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, yoga was launched from Chandigarh in 2016.
Oh.
It was from Chandigarh. Chandigarh hosted the first international event, and thereafter, of course, it was taken to New York and other places, and world over now, everybody is becoming health conscious. And somebody very rightly mentioned in the deliberation, somebody told कि जब कोई चीज बाहर से आती है तो वो हमें लगता है कि इसकी वैल्यू ज्यादा है, हम अपनी वैल्यू कई बार खुद ही नहीं पहचान पाते. This is what Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji, he's from Bangalore. So he made a mention of that in his address. So somewhere comes to my mind कि अगर हम 2-4 चीजें ले लें, टूरिज्म को ले लेते हैं. अच्छा, पंजाब के बच्चों का डीप रूटेड इंटरेस्ट है मीडिया एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री में. अगर एमएसएमई का वर्टिकल सेक्टर स्किल काउंसिल के साथ मिला के एज ए सर्विसेज कंपोनेंट अगर हम वेलनेस और एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री पे फोकस कर लें, सर, हाउ टू गो बाय दैट?
Sir, you have very rightly touched. While manufacturing is very what you call very well required, I won't say badly required, but it is required. It is an accepted fact because we have to manufacture. Why is everybody looking towards China? Because China, they have set up huge manufacturing hubs, and it is the volumes of scale which really matter if you have got to bring down the prices, the cost of various items. So while that happens, and the government is definitely taking initiatives for that, there's another aspect which is equally important, and that is the services. Now, services spread across all sectors because something comes directly and something comes ancillary to that. And that is what we talk about services. But when we talk about wellness, when we talk about tourism, it is not only the equipments which are required in these segments, it is also the touch of a human being which is required. And if we focus only on the northern states, to start off with, these are excellent areas where we were listening to somebody yesterday when he said, he or she said that
Professor Jagdish said, sir.
When it was being said, sir, that it is even you have to groom these children to talk and learn the languages, to learn how they have to become tourist guides, to learn how they have to provide them the infrastructure where they can come and learn yoga, practice yoga and go back. Sir, it is not only that people come here for learning and playing golf, as was one of the topics of yesterday's discussions. It is also that people come here for their peace of mind and flexibility and meditations and all that stuff, which is the inherent thing when we talk about yoga. It is only that it is, unfortunately, the time is such that the pandemic is not allowing us to build bridges and come close to each other. It is only that that somebody says कि पता नहीं क्या गुनाह किया है हम सब ने कि एक दूसरे से मुंह छुपाए बैठे हैं. तो वो मास्क जो है वो बेसिकली मेकिंग अस अपना एक दूसरे से मुंह छुपाए बैठे हैं. वरना तो ये सब आप लंबे प्राणायाम जब साथ में बैठ के करते हैं, और चाहे वो भ्रामरी हो चाहे वो दूसरा हो, तो जितना आनंद उन सब चीजों में मिलता है. और आई एम श्योर विद द एयर क्वालिटीज इन चंडीगढ़, द एयर क्वालिटीज इन Leh Ladakh and certain other places, they would definitely in Himachal, these would be excellent what you call places for us to bring in tourism, to bring in wellness initiatives. And more so, you see, in days to come, the Prime Minister has also been talking about developing what you call water aerodromes, which is another initiative taken by the government, and which will again be grounds for inducting more and more people into service areas relating to developing those areas where these water aerodromes will be coming up. So we can definitely look into, I would say, a few states to begin with, start off with them, and nobody can do it on their own. Our chamber, ICSI, would definitely love to join hands with any of these sector skill councils which are in these areas and bring people together. We can take the lead in tying up with various educational institutions, with the youth in those areas who are keen to come into these lines, bring them together with the sector skill councils, get our hands together with the Ministry of Entrepreneurship and Skill Development, and I'm sure we would be creating excellent results in developing these areas, not only in terms of their economic livelihoods, but also in bringing that health and happiness which is being taken away in these times by the pandemic.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. I was just trying to go through the info of yesterday, which Professor Jagdish Sheth mentioned. He told there is a 1 million nurses shortage at present in United States. And he told if China can become a capital of manufacturing, India has a potential to become services capital of the world. And he told only the challenges at this point of time, services sector is fragmented, it is to be organized, it is to be certified, because who is giving what kind of a service and what level it matches, and how to bring it equivalent to the desirable level of those countries where the manpower is to be exported. If that is being done, India can do wonders. And today, sir.
Sir, they say that charity begins at home.
Sir.
While we do acknowledge that there is nothing wrong in earning foreign exchange through whatever manpower or services exports which we can render to the world, but this pandemic has brought out categorically that the Indian health sector requires a lot of investments, both in terms of machines and manpower, if it has to address the needs, God forbid, if any bigger pandemic comes up tomorrow. So if we really look at the health sector itself, and we suddenly found during the COVID pandemic that we were literally in big shortage of the doctors, of the nurses and all that stuff. There's a huge demand for the infrastructure in terms of hospitals to be set up, in terms of hospitals to be made more functional to their capacity. And I know of certain areas where hospitals are there, but we lack in doctors and nurses. And we also know of certain countries who, the moment there is an exam for the nurses, if I may say, they pick up the list of those nurses, give them better salaries, because they're all qualified people available for them at their beck and call. The love for the country should be paramount and supreme, but it is only that we need to develop all these things because there is a demand. And this demand and supply trade-off should at least be brought to a level where we are able to ensure that our countrymen do not suffer while we serve others outside.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well said, sir. You know, your support would be needed by the chamber in all respects, in all forms, because I have deeply understood, sir, that education and skills alone cannot do wonders unless the children are given the right opening at the right time, in the right quantity, at the right place. MSME, yes, sir, please.
So that is where, just to complete what you are saying and your earlier suggestion, that is where I always say our NRIs who are there abroad can do one thing or two things. Either they bring their brains and the gains which they have acquired, or they connect our chamber with some of these developmental institutions abroad who are prepared to fund the developments to happen in certain areas in our country.
Wonderful.
Our chamber our chamber can very well take up that initiative and be a go-between, be a facilitating organization in funding the needs for developing all these areas, wherever we feel tourism, health, wellness, all these areas we can be facilitating through the what you call the developmental financials which are available through these organizations abroad.
Wonderful.
That is where all our leading members who are there outside our country can become partners with us in taking us through. I would not like to encroach upon the time of the next speaker, sir.
We have a time, sir. We have a time. His timing is from 5:30.
Okay.
The suggestion what you're giving is wonderful, and that is really remarkable, and that is really acceptable. And I think we should work in that particular direction. We would need your guidance. We would need your handholding. We would need your vision. Yesterday, Services Export Promotion Council DG had come in the morning, and their chairman had come in the evening. And chairman made an appeal over there. And before that, Professor Jagdish Anshet, when he delivered the valedictory address, he made a mention over there. Why not India should start working on financial services exports, legal services exports. And then he talked about telemedicine when the lady from Central Asia, she gave the vision on that she's already doing telemedical services from Kyrgyzstan at present to India. That was something, I think, sir, your vision in the MSME sector can do wonders for all of us. And we can certainly take that vision forward. Ravindra Nath ji, you propose the vote of thanks to Honorable Vice Chairman Professor MP Punia ji.
Well, thank you very much, sir. It was music to the ears when I was listening to Mr. Punia. Well, that shows the passion of the government that things in the coming times are going to be different. That is the need of the hour. And I liked what he said, that industry should be actively engaged with us and should not act as third umpires that no, you are out or you are not out. Or you आपने hit wicket कर ली. जब तक अगर industry साथ में नहीं जुड़ेगी, educators or anybody alone cannot change this country. And I really wish all the success to Mr. Punia and his entire team. And from ICSI, we would assure him that we are always there under the leadership of Professor Diman, under the leadership of Dr. Gulshansharma ji. ICSI will be strongly standing beside you, sir, in whatever way we can support both the education as well as the industry conglomeration to happen, because that is what India needs today. It really pains when we find that the Indian students go abroad and then they study what all they learn over here. You rightly said the mugging also, if they can't do as per the statistics which you say, then Bhagwani Malik hai phir to hum logon ka. I'm very sorry to say, but then I was extremely delighted to hear you, sir. The passion which you showed, I wish it has a catalytic effect and it really travels across the country, not only to the educators, but also to the industry. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing your time today. And we would be engaging with you more often, as our Director General, Dr. Gulshan ji said. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Namaskar. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Vice Chairman of AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education. And now we move on in the journey further. And, you heard how passionate Ravindra Nath ji is. The moment MSME comes, the moment NSIC comes, the moment he thinks about micro, small, medium enterprise, the new energy and the synergy comes in Ravindra Nath ji. Similar way, when I think about service industry, my parameter goes up. That's really lovely, which we can work out. We were supposed to be joined by our Harshvardhan ji in between. I requested him to join us, but anyway, we can take him later. Please go ahead, sir. I would like that today you should give your concluding remarks as far as MSME is concerned, as far as our youth is concerned, and something very nice. Today, the Honorable Prime Minister has announced that January 16th will be observed in India and will be celebrated as National Startup Day. January 16th.
Absolutely, sir. It's a great announcement. And I would say it is not an announcement, it is a direction which the Prime Minister is showing to all of us.
Yes.
Dr. Gulshansharma, I have been listening to various speakers during the last almost 2.5 days. Our program has been through. And while they are talking to the youth, and we have been covering issues on education, issues on skills, and issues on entrepreneurship. And the point which everybody was trying to emphasize, and including the last speaker, Punia ji, I was reminded of the words of Mr. Jack Welch. He has very rightly said, control your own destiny or someone else will. If we do not learn from all the deliberations which we have made over the last 2.5 days, and even when we conclude at the end of the 3 days of our program, if we do not learn as to what is needed, तो then फिर रास्ता दिखाने का कोई पर्पस नहीं रहता. हम कितनी भी रोशनी डाल लें, कितनी भी हम अपने चर्चाएं कर लें, कितने भी हम ज्ञान एक दूसरे के साथ साझा कर लें, अगर उसको हम इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं करेंगे तो नुकसान केवल हमारा ही होगा. हमारे पास बहुत बड़ी ताकत है कि हमारे पास जहां एक तरफ एजुकेशन और एजुकेटर्स हैं, चाहे वो अथॉरिटीज हों, चाहे वो स्कूल, कॉलेज या इंस्टीट्यूशंस के माध्यम से उनके ओनर्स और उनकी टीचर्स हों, या दूसरी तरफ हमारे पास अगर हमारे इंडस्ट्री के लोग हों जो कि आपके विभिन्न प्रोग्रामों में आते रहे हैं, और आपके सारा एफर्ट जो अभी तक मैंने देखा है, वो मुझे केवल मिस्टर विलियम पी लॉडर की एक बात याद दिलाता है, जहां पर उन्होंने कहा था, and Mr. Lauder is basically a chairman of what you call a good cosmetic company all over the world, renowned company. And he said, I never dreamed about success. I worked for it. And that is what Dr. Gulshansharma ji does. Thank you very much, sir. Over the last 2 days, I've been talking about service sector, I've been talking about skills, and I've been talking about education. Let me just refurbish what I have said, and then let us see what is needed. Micro, small, and medium enterprises, Dr. Gulshan ji says it is after my heart, and he's very right on that. I believe MSMEs are the growth engines of India. It's universally accepted in our country and even abroad. And the services sector, MSMEs, are the oil that keep it running. We very well appreciate and understand that the services sector is increasingly becoming critical to the development trajectory of our country as well as other developing countries. The World Bank has found that the sector's contribution in poverty elevation is greater than that of agriculture and manufacturing. I just heard Punia ji say that even in the second year students would be given the exposure to those who are in the handicrafts, those who are maybe repairing your car by the roadside, or even into certain other critical areas where different types of services are being provided. And that is what is increasingly becoming significant in the development of a country. Even the World Bank has found that the sector's contribution in poverty elevation is greater than that of agriculture and manufacturing. Agriculture has been earlier called the backbone of our economy, and now it is MSMEs which have also been recognized to that extent. And the Indian economy, if I may say, has been riding on the shoulders of the services sector. As per a report by the Reserve Bank of India, the services industry over the last 2 decades, until the COVID pandemic struck, it has been the largest contributor in the Indian economy. And we all accept that the services industry covers a host of services, including but not limited to banking, IT enabled services, business management and consulting, tourism and education. All these have been the front runners of economic development for decades. It is one of the pillars of economic growth, owing to its massive contribution to GDP and employment numbers. Again, if I may quote from the reports of Reserve Bank of India, the services sector is the biggest employer with a share of 44.4% in measured employment. It's contributed to around 54% to India's GDP as per the figures available for 2018-19. And large conglomerates and MSMEs are involved in delivering a large variety of services crucial to the socio-economic machinery of the state, but later some of them have run into certain challenges in the wake of the COVID pandemic. The services sector also, it has been said, contributes to 60% of India's economy, attracting the highest FDIs, and services sector is on a growth trajectory driven by digital efforts of the government and highly skilled and low-cost manpower. These sectors, which have gained significant momentum from the government and private players, including those in tourism, healthcare, telecom, information technology, banking, finance, education, and space, and some of the recent government initiatives in terms of smart cities, clean India, digital India, they're all creating an enabling environment, giving further push to the services sector, even being added by communication, healthcare, environment, technology, energy, banking, all this. And I distinctly remember I was listening to Dr. Kalsiji on the first day where he was mentioning amongst the focus sectors, he included banking and financial services, healthcare, information technology, next-gen cities, startups, media and entertainment, telecom, sports, logistics, retail and e-commerce, space, railways, and all that. See, I always look at there is a host of opportunities which a country offers through all these sectors and through a strong services sector which is already in existence. I was listening to some statistics which Mr. Pooniaji just shared about how young our population is. And even in terms of numbers, if we may see, India has 18% of the world population, around 600 million people who are in the age group of about 25 years. And another thing is that the young population is also adding to a huge workforce. The numbers being added almost on a monthly basis is all around 1.3, 1.5 million. But then the large corporations or the medium-sized businesses in the formal economy, they generate less than 1/10 of this increasing workforce. And that is where we come to the paradox that on one hand, there is significant youth unemployment, and on another hand, we have the private sector, which bemoans of lack of adequately skilled and market-ready workforce. Having discussed this even in the last 2 days, I'm reminded of, rather, I'm being bothered about a few questions. The questions which come to my mind are, how do we tap this reservoir of talent and energy to spur the growth story of India ahead? How do we address the problems of insecurity at the workplace, the lack of market-limited skills, the information asymmetry, poor perception about skill development? How do we match market supply to current demands for skills? How do we help workers and enterprises adjust to change? And building and sustaining competencies for future market needs. How do we strategize improvement in employability? All these have been really bothering me, and I wish that our sessions would definitely throw up various solutions. And one of the silver linings which I find is our new education policy. The new education policy, in my understanding, it carries a vision of creating an education system that will diversify education to give people broad skill sets that will make them more compatible with digitalization of the workplace. I wish all this happens, but till it happens, those questions which I shared with you, they would always be haunting us as to how do we do it, how do we handle them, how do we take care of the enormous young population which we have with us. And that is what makes me believe that if sustainable livelihoods are the key to sustainable developments, the micro enterprises in the services sector are the keyholes. And all this, the enormous potential in the various sectors which we have, the industry which is already there, and the youth in our country, the educated youth, especially, I would like to say, a very strong academic sector, and the focus of the government being more aligned to the requirements which we have today. It is purely and purely the synergy between the academia and the industry which holds the future for the skills to be available for the industry. And that is what is the need today. And especially the upheaval brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. It has further crystallized an urgent and complex global employment challenge. How do we prepare people for the future of work in ways that serve individuals, serve businesses and communities? That is what is needed. Otherwise, what happens? We have just seen in the first wave and the second wave, several young people losing jobs, young and relatively young people losing their jobs. But then I was reminded of the words of Patrick Hull, the Unilever Vice President of Future of Work, where it was said that only jobs should be made redundant, not people. Very, very relevant today. Only jobs should be made redundant, not people. And I'm also reminded of the words of Amy Goldfinger, Walmart SVP of Global Talent, where it was said that no company today is equipped to operate upskilling efforts at full scale. That's the problem. That's the opportunity. So we have been talking in the last 2 days and in almost most of the programs of Dr. Gulshansharma that it is skilling, upskilling, reskilling which is required. It is so strongly emphasized by our Honorable Prime Minister also, whenever he addresses the youth, whenever he addresses the challenges of unemployment, that people have to be standing relevant to the times by ensuring that they are upskilled and reskilled. I'm also reminded of the words of Ali Wellington, the speaker, author, business coach, and podcaster, where she said, only people who take learning, growth, and skill development into their hands will be tomorrow's leaders. That's where, again, I come back, that it is the minds of the industry, it's the minds of the academia, unless they put them together, we would not be successful. Learning, growth, and skill development have to be collectively taken by the academia and the industry to synergize their efforts for ensuring only success. And what needs to be done, I have a few thoughts in my mind, which I would like to share. And these thoughts I'm carrying because we find that more and more firms are digitizing their businesses, and they feel they relate to the requirements of new skills which are needed to support their future plans. If we continue to churn out students from our colleges, from our educational institutions, and if there is no linkages, no sync with what the industry requirements are, we will only be creating more of disgruntled youth in our country. And organizations, be it industry, that identify and build future skills into the workforce, are more likely to realize success in their broader talent strategy and avoid unnecessary risk in the future. See, it's relevant for both of us. It's relevant for the industry also. Unless they are able to identify and build future skills into the workforce, it's not only those who will be added into the industry, but even those who are there even those who are already willing and working with them, they also need to be reskilled and upskilled. I again, share the words of Patrick Hull, Unilever VP, where it was said only jobs should be made redundant, not people. People, even those who are working with them, need to be made relevant by maybe upskilling and reskilling them. And put together, these are the key attributes for working in a more resilient and agile environment. The environment being created by academia on one side and the industry on the other. And once we understand how future skills relate to the business model, and the business model is as relevant for an academia, educational institution, as much as it is relevant to the industry, only then we can start developing a plan for reskilling and upskilling employees, as well as hiring new talent. This is what I'm very strongly emphasizing, that unless we understand how future skill sets relate to the businesses, only then we can start developing a plan for reskilling and upskilling, even for those who will be hired. We have been thinking, we have been bringing in my earlier institution, NSIC, our upskilling programs or reskilling programs or skilling programs were not only to those who were maybe school or college students, they were even relevant for those who were already working, or some of the companies who were there who wanted to have their people trained in our institution. I'm sorry, there's a disturbance coming from outside, which I can't stop it, but I will continue. And if we really have to prepare a roadmap for closing the future skill gaps, there are certain measures to be taken when it comes to reskilling and upskilling. And some of the points which come to my mind, which I like to share with the participants, are that it's necessary that we have a data and then we engage in benchmarking. It's important to understand the current prevalence of future critical skills, and then we ensure that how their prevalence stacks up against the peers. How do we build a data baseline to truly evaluate any existing gaps and formulate a holistic reskilling strategy to fill the gaps? The data needs to be attained about future skills prevalence, the present workforce mix, the automation risks, the future skill gaps, the future skills hold the pay gaps. I would like to be excused for a minute. I'll just take it over here, and because I like to speak to them and try and see that if the sound disturbance can be stopped for a minute. Hello. Sorry. My apologies. So, see, all this data needs to be attained about, as I said, for the future risk prevalence, the workforce mix, the automation risks, and the future skill pay gaps. Because all these, make a lot of impact about the involvement in areas of identification and prevalence of future skills, and measure the gaps between the current and the desired future states and how best to close it. Then we also need to define future requirements. We need to assess and structure future skill requirements through capability models for the entire, what you call the different sectors. And then maybe we will be able to lay the foundation for a resilient and agile workforce that will create a compelling employee experience for current and prospective talent. It is only then that the reskilling and upskilling will help close the future skill gaps and boost even the retention of the high impact talent which we already hold. Otherwise, again, we'll find them obsolete and redundant. And then the growth in the sector, even in the services sector, despite so much of potential it holds, it will not be available, it will not be prevalent. Then we need to strategize the total rewards. The workforce which is already going to be there, the opportunities that is there for new startups to enter, they're all linked to getting the right type of people and ensuring that we are able to continue in a robust manner which the opportunity is throwing up to us. And when we talk about strategizing the rewards for those people who are there, the first step of data benchmarking reveals about the gaps which already exist. Gaps which exist not only in terms of the skill sets which are required to be given, but also in terms of the pay gaps which are there. And then only our process looks at the current market rates, but rewards based on future skill profiles are also needed to be assessed. A high reward strategy should be developed to ensure that high potential employees are valued for their future skills, not only into the present day contributions. It's such an approach which can inform rewards and strategies and ensure that organizations recognize and properly value job roles with future skills. And it's these basically which are able to, then finally we focus on the reskilling process design. Yeah. We have understood that reskilling and upskilling are the two strategies that can be used to mitigate a future skill gap. And out of the two, the upskilling is often the preferred strategy due to its relative simplicity and greater chance of success. But there are ways to tackle your reskilling design processes. And one of the ways to do this is to identify and redesign the focus roles and provide targeted matching. The other methods include implementing targeted rewards intervention and aligning and developing offsprings. Also, we need to measure how much has been benefited out of this. The measures in terms of the rewards which come through the progress by analyzing the ongoing data to ensure that we are informed and we adapt to the talent and workforce changes. These are some of the things which are we need to track the improvements. Continuous benchmarking, analysis is needed on the defined KPI. Unless we do this, skilling, upskilling, needs of the industry, the gaps in the reward mechanism, and the measures to progress is what is needed. That is where it becomes. If we are able to do this, I'm sure the gaps in the academia on the one side and the industry on the other will be reduced, and people will be able to get the trained manpower, the trained persona, which is the need of the industry also. And at the same time, the success which we anticipate from the education sector getting absorbed into the industry will be achieved in a complete manner. And before I conclude, the positive sign, which has also been shared in an earlier address by Mr. Punia, it reminds me that India's young demographic profile combined with its rising literacy rate offers it a significant competitive advantage vis-a-vis other developing countries. Our Prime Minister has been so strongly urging that we need to go across various countries where we are having what you call aging population. And also with the Make in India initiative that is striving to boost the manufacturing sector, the Prime Minister has outlined a vision to represent India as a world-class services hub across sectors. The multiple stakeholders need to work cohesively. And among these multiple are the academia and the industry, I would say. They need to work cohesively to help achieve this vision. Technology, innovation, and creativity are rapidly redefining the global economy with digitization, collapsing distances, and transcending borders. India has the pride of place as the fastest growing services sector nation globally. And to keep the momentum going, it is critical that stakeholders, investors, and policymakers are best equipped in strategizing for the future and tapping the best markets globally. And it has been so well said by our incoming president that it's a time of brain gain rather than the brain drain which has so far been happening from a country. They bring back the brains and they bring back the gains also, not only of the brains which they have acquired, the knowledge which they have acquired, but even other financial gains which have been brought in over the years in their working. So with these words, Dr. Gulshanji, I would like to close my address because I believe that unless it is cohesively worked and we put together our efforts, the success which is already around the corner, we will be missing it. And I'm sure our chamber, with so much of strength which we carry in terms of engagement with education, in terms of engagement with industry, we will be able to reap the benefits and work very strongly with the education in one side and the industry on the other. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your wonderful, valuable inputs. I strongly believe with you being at the helm of the affairs in 2022, we all would be in a position to achieve the desirable results, desirable goals, because so far I was incomplete without you. I was always thinking skills and education. But now when you have brought the third leg of the triangle and you have made the beautiful triangle, it's complete now. Micro, small and medium enterprise plays very important role. And I think and very strongly believe that together we will work out 2022 rocking, wonderful with the help of our brothers and sisters. Those are joining across the globe. All of us together, we will take the vision forward. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. And our next guest is coming in a little while. She would be joining us. She is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Desh Bhagat University. And thereafter, we have also lined up today two of the presidents. One is the president of Haryana Commerce and Management Association. Another one is Punjab Commerce and Management Association. Then also we are going to get Vice Chancellor of Riyadh and Bhara University. And thereafter, the entire confluence of the information technology in Chandigarh. There's a very versatile person, Professor Pradeep Singh Walia ji. He would be there. And then we are going to Tashkent today, again with Dr. S. Chaturvedi, where he will be talking us how EDI Ahmedabad developed education and entrepreneurship together. And finally, tonight, one of the chancellors from the American University, he is going to talk about NRIs for Indian education. 3 areas he is going to talk about: equity, accessibility, and technology. These 3 things to be brought together, that we take on at 8 p.m. And thereafter, we do the closing for our 3 days virtual event. That is the agenda ahead, what we have got. So I thought I should just share with you. And I always look forward to your valuable support, strength, vision, direction, dynamism. Anything I would like to add on that. I can improve my vocabulary also, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for being there. So your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. So
always there, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. You are such a valuable support, and you are such a visionary, and you are such a futuristic and a practical soul. I'm pretty sure that I will learn as a good student something onto the MSME much better way in the coming days. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
So kind of you.
We would receive, I think she should be joining us in a little while. Meanwhile, if any closing remarks or anything you would like to give, we can work out on that, sir.
Sir, since you will be having again the what you call the academia on one side, like the next speaker would be coming. She's from the industry. She's from the academia. You would also be having the chambers. I would say that maybe if some of these we bring them together in one of your future programs, and they make it a point that well, this is how we would be coming together, and this is how we will be synergizing our efforts for the future.
Wonderful, sir.
We heard what Mr. Punia said. We also have the academia people coming. She is the Vice Chancellor, I understand, of a leading university. We also have somebody from the chambers coming in the evening later today. And if any of these, we can bring them together and say, well, this is how we have a bank of students who would be trained in certain areas. Well, we pick up what your members require. And this is how maybe we bring them in another program together. And then we make them say that this is our requirements and this is how we'll work together. And this is what we offer. This is how we'll work together with you. And this is what we set a roadmap for the future where others can imitate and emulate and take things forward.
We can help out these universities, these institutions the best possible way. And now AICT Vice Chairman at the helm of the affairs to support the entire vision. I think we can have a wonderful future that way.
Absolutely, sir.